Here we are, Math 1, triangle congruency. Now we're going to take a look at all the rules. So we're going to see what we can remember and what we can do with it all. So just a reminder, here are the 4 rules we have. Side, side, side. If the corresponding sides of 2 triangles, if all 3 sides are congruent, then yes, they're congruent. We have side, angle, side. If 2 sides are congruent of 2 triangles, 2 corresponding sets of sides, I should say, and their angle in between, the angle that touches them both, the angle that they form, then that's also congruent. Then yes, they're congruent. Got angle, side, angle. So same idea, but this time with 2 angles and the side in between of 2 corresponding triangles. If those are congruent, then the whole things are congruent. And also angle, angle, side. So if 2 angles and a side that's not in between are congruent, then yes, they're congruent. Okay? And remember the steps. First thing, find out what you know, and you need 3 pieces. So sometimes we can just look and see all 3 pieces. Okay? If that's true, then that's great, and you skip step 2. If not, you figure out if there's hidden information. So like these 2 examples. I've got 1 angle, 2 angles, okay, but I don't have 3 pieces. Okay, so is there some hidden information? If not, then you know it's not congruent right off the bat. If there is, like this, a side that they share, or we've got 2 sides here, and that vertical angle, remember, if they form an X, those angles opposite are congruent. Okay, then that would be hidden information, and yes, we'd have our 3rd piece for each of those. Okay, then once we've got that figured out, we want to see, is it one of our rules? And the order matters. Okay, the order matters. What I mean by order is, this angle would then go to this angle and then to this side. Okay, we wouldn't go angle, side, angle because there's an angle here in between. Okay, we can't skip an angle like that. It has to be either the side next to it or the angle next to it to go to the next. Okay, and so angle, angle, side, that's one of our rules. Okay, or side, angle, side, the angles in between them, just like the angles in between, that's another rule. Okay, then the next thing you check is oh, by the way, 2 rules that don't work. If we have a triangle that's a side, another side, and then 1 angle, that doesn't work. Or if we just have all 3 angles, that's great, but that doesn't tell us they're congruent. So those ones don't work. Okay? Then you got to make sure it works for both. Okay, like this one, I've got a side, and an angle. Okay? This one I've got a side, angle, side. Well, this one works. Okay? But this one doesn't. You could even have it set up so it would look like they both worked. But if they're not the same thing, like let's say that instead we've got, let's actually go this way. Okay, let's say, oh, no, didn't want to do that. Like this. Here we go. Okay, that's congruent, that's congruent, that's congruent, that's congruent. That piece doesn't match with this. Even though this is an angle, side, angle, which is a rule, and this is a side, angle, side, which is a rule, they're not the same rules, so they don't work. But if they do all work out, then we say yes, it's congruent, and we say why. Okay? So there's all the main stuff about it. Now let's get doing some of these problems. So now let's take a look at doing this. So we just want to say if they're congruent and why. So we need to make sure we write down the rule. Okay? So first step again, what do we know? Well, I've got a side, and an angle, because they're right angles, so I know those are 2. Okay? Do I know anything else? No. Can I guess at anything? Well, I guess not guess, but can I see anything else? Yeah, they share a side. That would be another side. So do I have one of my rules? Okay? I've got a side here, an angle, and then a side. They're all connected. Side, angle, and a side. They're all connected. So yes, that's one of our rules. By side, angle, side, that triangle is congruent. Okay, let's look at number 2. So I know I've got two sides here. Do I have another side? Nope. Do I have an angle? Not that I can see, but I've got that vertical angle, which tells me those two angles are congruent. So yeah, I do have an angle. So side, angle, side, side, angle, side. So yes, by side, angle, side. These ones are congruent as well. All right, number 3. Got an angle here and an angle here. They share a side, so that's a side. So angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. So yes, by angle, side, angle. Okay? Because they're all next to each other. That's why it will work. We can't call this angle, angle, side, because I can't go around like this. I can't say angle, angle, side, because I'm skipping a side, an angle, and another side. Okay? We can only ever skip a few things, but one thing, but not multiple things. All right. Number 4. Vertical angle here, so I know I've got that side. So an angle, and a side. An angle, and a side. That's one of ours, so yes. Angle, angle, side. Okay, if I look at 5, I've got a side and a side. Any other angles? Nope. Any other sides? Nope. Only 2 pieces. I have to say it's not congruent. It's the only option that I have on this one, is to say that it's not congruent. Okay, now let's look at number 6. So I've got an angle here, a side here, and they share a side. The angle's in between both sides, so yes, by side, angle, side. Okay, I look at number 7. I've got a vertical angle, so those 2 angles are congruent. So I've got an angle, and then another angle next to it, and then the side next to that. So yes, by angle, angle, side, I have 2 congruent triangles. Okay, number 8, vertical angle, so those match up. So an angle, the side in between, the sides touching both angles. So yes, by angle, side, angle, we've got one. Okay. Number 9, 2 sides and an angle. So I want to say yes, side, angle, side, but notice I've got 2 sides and an angle right there. Okay. It's not in between, so this one is not congruent. That's why we got to double check. You can't just check one. You got to make sure you check multiple ones. Okay, number 10, vertical angle right there. Okay, another angle right here, and then the side only touching one angle. So that would be angle, angle, and side. So yes, they're congruent by angle, angle, side. Alright, so we've got a side they share, the side they don't share, and an angle in between. So it's yes by side, angle, side. Okay, 12. We've got vertical angle, so they share that angle. So an angle, on a side touching one angle. So angle, angle, side, and yes. Alright, so let's just keep trucking. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's the easy one. Yes by side, side, side. 14, we've got a side, and an angle. Oh, it looks like side, angle, side, but look, we've got 2 sides, then an angle. They don't match up, so not congruent. Okay, 15. Got a vertical angle, so they share an angle. 2 sides, but the angle's not there. That should tell you right there. Doesn't work. It's not congruent. 16. All I know is those 2 sides. I can't assume anything else about it. So, once again, not congruent. Okay, 17. We've got 2 angles. No side in between them. The side not in between them. And the side is touching both the double angles, so that would work to be flip those around. Angle, angle, side. Yes by angle, angle, side. 18, they share side, plus they have the other two sides. So side, side, side. Yes by side, side, side. Okay, 19, they share a side. That angle, since it's a 90-degree angle, you know the other one's going to be 90 degrees as well. So you have the two angles, then you've got this side. So when we look at that, it's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? Let's try that again. Side here, angle here, and a side here. So the angle's in between the two sides, so yes by side, angle, side. Alright, 20. We've got a vertical angle, three angles, that would be angle, angle, angle. That's not one of them, so we say not congruent. 21, angle, angle, second angle, the side in between, so angle, side, angle, and it would be yes. 22, one angle, one side, only two pieces of information, not enough, so not congruent. 23, I've got two angles, and they share a side, the sides touching one side, so yes by angle, angle, side. Basically, if you have two angles on one side, unless they're mixed up, it's usually going to work. 24, we've got two angles, and then this time the side's in between, so angle, side, angle, and yes, they match up. Okay, 25, got an angle they share, angle, then an angle, then a side, angle, then an angle, then a side, so angle, angle, side, and yes, they work. And then they share a side, two other sides, so side, 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 yes, they're congruent by that. Okay, 27, got an angle in here, three angles, not enough to say it's congruent. Could it be? Yes, but we don't have any other information. 28, share a side, two angles, so angle, angle, side, because the side's not in between, and it's yes, congruent. Okay, 29, shares a side, then it has an angle and then a side. The angle's in between, so side, angle, side, same for both, so yes. And then we've got another triple angle, which that deals with similarity, same shape, different sizes, but we're dealing with congruent, same size, so we can't call it congruent. So not congruent. Alright, so now we're just going to tell what piece of information we're missing. So now we pay attention to our order. So angle, side, angle. Got a vertical angle. So I've got the two angles. Now with angle, side, angle, it's the side in between. So what's the side touching both? Well, that side and that side, so it would be YX is congruent to XH. For 32, three sides, I've got two of them. It's got to be the third side, so KM has to be congruent to HF in order for that one to work. Okay, for 33, side, angle, side, I've got a side and then vertical angles. So I've got the side and my angle's touching that side, so the other side's got to touch the angle. So it's got to be that YX, and it's got to be that XV. Okay, 34, angle, side, angle. Got a vertical angle again, the side in between. So it's got to be that other angle touching, so angle X would have to be congruent to angle Q. Alright, 35, angle, angle, side. Okay, so we have one angle. We have the side. So it's got to be an angle touching a side. So here we have options. It could go this way or this way. This way or this way. Because there's multiple angles, we can't just say angle V and angle W. We will have to name them by their three pieces. So I could either say angle E WV would be congruent to angle UWV, we go the opposite side, and it'd be angle EVW would be congruent to angle UVW. Okay, so with that angle side, sometimes there's more than one option for you. Okay, so if we look at 36, side, 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 they share this side. That side's congruent, so it's got to be this other side, doesn't it? So that would be QR with PJ. Alright, 37, angle side angle. We've got the angle one side, angle one side. It's got to be the other angle touching the side, so it'd have to be angle I with angle W. 38, side, side, side. They share a side, have the other side, so it's that third side. So YZ would have to be congruent to ZV. Okay, 39, another angle side. So we've got the side here, and an angle here. It's kind of like that last one we did this way. So it's either this angle with this angle, or this with this. So angle ZEF would be with angle, is that a D? Yeah, DEF, or angle F, or wait, no, EFD with angle EFZ. Either one side of those angles would work, and remember, we go, when we have it connected like that and we have multiple angles, we have to go with the opposite one. Okay? Okay, 40, angle, side angle. Got the side that's the same, the angle here. It's got to be the other angle touching it, so it's got to be at angle QRP. Would have to be congruent with angle QRZ. That one with that one. And finally, the last two, both side angle sides. So the angles in between the two sides, one side, one angle, has to be that side IJ, and it would have to be with one side, the angle KW. The last one, you've got it right there and right here, so it's got to be that side that's left over. So KJ congruent with XY. And there we go, guys.